All right, everybody. It looks like we are live. Just testing my live feed to YouTube. Okay. So it looks like we're good. Let's get started. My name is William Roy, and I am the CEO of the William C. Roy Consulting Group. I am a talent optimization consultant, as well as a organizational psychology practitioner. I specialize in executive coaching, in employee engagement, talent optimization, which is what you're here for today. And I wanted to take a little bit of time to explain what talent optimization is at a high level. Now, I'm a certified predictive index partner, which is pioneering the talent optimization category. I am certified with the Society of Human Resources Management as a senior certified professional. And I'm anxious to talk to you about talent optimization. So let's go ahead and get started. So what is talent optimization? That's what this presentation is all about. And talent optimization really is how to optimize the potential of the talent in your organization. It's about how to build your dream team, how to get the best from your people in a way where they work together well, where the conflict is constructive instead of counterproductive. And the ideas that come out and the actions that it produces are heads and tails above what you might otherwise get. So when I talk with leaders, there's 4 basic areas that leaders are concerned about. Leaders are concerned about their employees, their strategy, investors, and their future. Now, whether it's morale, productivity, or engagement, the executives I work with are very concerned about their people. How do you get the most from your people? How do you support your people? How do you pay for your people? And how do you ensure that they're working together cohesively towards the same goals? Then there's also strategy. And given the realities of our day, given the realities of business, period, leaders are required to rethink and to often pivot their strategies. Many leaders are seeking solutions to weather the current storm and with an outlook for the next 18 to 24 months. And it's an uncertain environment that they're looking to weather, that they're looking to travel through and wind up on the other side, still competitive, still successful, and with their employees intact. They're also concerned about investors. They're looking to add clarity to the path ahead because investors need that clarity. They need to ensure that they have a place, that they have a team in place to tackle the realities that they're facing, to tackle the uncertainties that they're facing. They need to build, they need to maintain the trust in their team and their investors so that they can move forward confidently and face any uncertainty that lies ahead. And that leads us to the future. So whether you're thinking about maximizing productivity, pivoting strategic initiatives, or rebounding from the economic realities we face, concerns about the future are real and genuine. The good news is there are some simple steps that you can take to address all of these things. Now, before we jump to the next slide, I just want to ask, what would you add to the list? Is there anything that you would add that I haven't talked about yet? Now, whatever your situation is that you're facing, there are some ways that using the talent optimization method that we could help your organization, or any organization for that matter. And our approach is a little different. So the way we approach this is, first we look at objective data. So rather relying on a gut feeling when it comes to working with your team, you want to have objective data that can open doors to more creativity, more productivity, and better relationships among the people on your team. Unlike unhealthy teams that lack understanding, you'd have the ability to quickly highlight individual strengths and any potential areas that could be blind spots, whether blind spots as a team or blind spots between individuals. And if you're open to it, this will allow you to work more effectively with your whole team, tapping into strengths and coaching where needed to support your objectives. It can help you avoid getting bogged down. So rather than getting bogged down with personalities and tension, you'd have the data to work more effectively with your existing team. In that, you could provide clarity and understanding with your teams to avoid the all too common challenges that teams naturally run into. This would help you build alignment. So with the same data and armed with this information, you could understand individuals and teams, and you'd have the ability to outline and visualize your core initiatives that will drive your business forward. And then you'd have the ability to align your team to your objectives to better help support, coach, and lead your team forward. So at this point, you have to ask yourself, does this sound like something that would be helpful in your organization? You know, if you and I decided to work together, we'd do a one-on-one session, a talent strategy overview. And this is what it would look like. So in contrast to leaning on advice when it comes to teams, we would use data to help you understand, first of all, the you element, you at work. We'd explore how you most naturally prefer to work, think, and lead. You know, some common situations that we run into with this element is, in addition to exploring what makes you a great leader, you would also be able to see some of your potential blind spots. Maybe it's in the grit behavior where the leader's darker side emerges in the grip of crisis or stress. Maybe you're a leader who tends to take control. Do you take control away from your team instead of delegating work to them that should be their responsibility? Or is there a lack of transparency, a lack of authenticity? Those are some of the blind spots we could help you look at and deal with. Then we'd look at the you and others element and uncover some of the dynamics at play between you and your team. We look at team tension and the dynamics impacting work. We look at personalities taking over, driving the team in the wrong direction. We've all had that one strong personality that takes over a meeting. And there are ways that we can help you to deal with that. We look at remote work, and this can have a drastic positive or negative impact on the productivity of your people. So we look at you and others, and then we look at you and others plus the work that needs to be done and discuss natural strengths and blind spots of the team as a whole compared to your objectives. You know, sometimes current social and economic realities create uncertainty on a team. Sometimes that results in weakening confidence in the company and in the company's mission, and there could be struggles within teams and the work that they do. Through this data and the analysis and our action plans, we can help you deal with all of that. Then there's deliverable and next steps. If what we talk about resonates with you, then we talk about the next steps based on your data. That may be action plans, that may be development plans. So with this in mind, what I want to do next is talk a little bit about the approach we take to talent optimization. And let me say that the approach is not for everyone. It's a little unusual, but it might help you decide whether a talent optimization approach is right for you and your organization. So this chart here is really a good representation of the process. On the left, you see a business strategy. On the right, you see business results. In the middle, you have the talent optimization section. And to be fair, often most businesses have a strategy, sometimes written down, sometimes not, and they have business results that they're trying to achieve. But often it's the talent piece in the middle that doesn't get the attention that it deserves. So you obviously have a business strategy that seeks to get results. As I said, what we do is a bit unique, and we seek to ensure your business is designed to get the results that you're trying to get. To put it another way, based on the work to be done, we help you to make sure you have the ability to see if the right players are in the right place, the right people on the bus, and if they are being coached effectively so that you maximize results. At the same time, if you're hiring or promoting or succession planning, we provide you with the ability to ensure you're getting the right people in the right seat. With Inspire, you have the ability to avoid team pitfalls and conflict. Instead, you'll be able to identify and tap into the natural strengths of the team, while at the same time identifying and minimizing blind spots. And the Inspire function is all about engagement, employee engagement, team engagement, and organizational engagement. And then the final piece that you see here is diagnose. So you'd have the ability to unearth any potential trouble spots under the surface that could be impacting your goals. This engagement data, combined with objective individual and team data, allows you to make more impactful connections to the right ship if needed, and corrections. Now, again, this is a lens through which we can navigate your business environment to attain the results you're after. One of these areas might resonate with you more than others, and that's fine, because many people choose to focus on just one of these areas, and then they may build into the other areas later. So ask yourself, and let me know in the comments, does one of these areas resonate with you as a need in the organization you're a part of more than others? Hire, inspire, design, or diagnose. Now, as you may have guessed, I'm not a typical consultant. Rather than traditional solutions that focus on just the people or just the work, this is really two sides of the same coin. On the one side of the coin, there's the work to be done. We can see that on the left, on the purple side. The strategic priorities and objectives that drive you to the goal. On the other side, the right side, which is blue, we see the people who need to deliver results. They're the individuals, they're the teams, the managers, the leaders, because let's be honest, organizations don't perform strategy. They don't perform strategic actions. It is your people that are executing your strategy. So what you'd have the ability to do with a talent optimization system is to optimize the connection between the work that needs to be done and the people doing the work. We want to be able to bridge the gap to better ensure business results. The last thing you want to do is ask a hockey team to suddenly play soccer, or if you have to, at least have the data to coach them and support them accordingly and effectively. Now let's take a look at an example of how we can use the data in our talent optimization system to approach this. We provide a work styles framework that allows you to see yourself in the world of work. You can visualize and understand your preferred work style, what work most naturally resonates with you. And with this data, you have the ability to understand your natural strengths, what makes you tick, what drives you, and how you lead. At the same time, you can address any potential blind spots that could be impacting your leadership or risking your team's goals. Now, this is a high-level view of the competing values framework and where one individual would fall in this. So let's take a minute to just briefly discuss the 4 quadrants of our framework here. The first is teamwork and employee experience, which you can see in the top left. Within this quadrant, objectives and employees that fall into the upper left quadrant relate mostly to employee engagement, culture, morale, the brand, employee development. By way of example, organizations such as schools, mission-driven organizations, players on multi-person sports teams would fall into this area. Many trainers fall into this area. Next, we have innovation and agility. So objectives or employees that fall into the upper right quadrant relate most closely to innovation, new opportunities, higher risk, breaking the status quo. Companies like Uber, Airbnb, and Tesla would fall in this area. Incidentally, this is where I fall. Then we have process and precision. Objectives or employees in the lower left quadrant lean into process and precision. They like to build systems and structures to support and scale the business. An example would be organizations such as banks, hospitals, engineering firms. And then finally, we have results and discipline. The objectives or people in the lower white quadrant are typically focused on results, expanding market share, profitability, and accountability. By way of example, some organizations that might fall into this are car companies, PC companies in the 90s. In the same way that we can understand you and your preferred work styles, we can also understand the team as a whole. So each of these blue spots are the members of the team. The orange would be the leader. Now, this is sample information. It's not real information, but this is a good example of where your team might fall. You're able to see the natural strengths of your team. You have the ability to understand at a glance how they prefer to work, to communicate, and even show how they prefer to take action. You also have the ability to explore blind spots and areas that can cause conflict between the dynamics at play. This allows you to get in front of internal tensions that risk the goals of the business. And at the same time, we provide a language and framework that allows the team collaborate more effectively based on the makeup of the team. So you can see that about half the team falls into the innovation and agility here. And then you have a couple people in the process and precision and the results and discipline quadrants. Now, the process and precision and results and discipline folks will probably get along pretty good, but you're probably going to have some tension between the process and precision and the innovation and agility folks. And so you'll need to learn how to navigate that tension in a constructive way. Now we can see that the teamwork and employee engagement, that there is nobody on the team that falls into that quadrant, which may not be an issue, or it may. And if your strategy aligns more with teamwork, then you'd have an issue. So ask yourself this: would these types of insights into your team's dynamics be helpful for leading your team? Now we see a similar chart here, but we have a little extra added to it. You see the purple lines there. These are areas of strategy that the team leader has selected. And based on what they've selected, it shows which quadrant the strategies are focused on. So for this team, it's heavily into results and discipline, and a little lighter on innovation and agility. So you seem to have a good team for that. The team doing the work is one side of the coin. The other side is the actual work to be done. So rather than spending weeks or months arguing over strategic initiatives, this tool provides you the ability to map your core objectives and align them with your team. This allows you to maximize areas of strength and to shore up any gaps through coaching, support, or delegation, or, if need be, to hire someone to fill in that gap. So in a one-on-one session, if we were to conduct one with you, your organization, we'd look together at how you're wired as a leader. We'd explore your team's dynamics. We'd map this against some of your core objectives over the next 12 to 18 months. So this is essentially the talent optimization process. We look at you, deeper awareness of yourself, of your strengths, of your potential blind spots, and areas of synergy or conflict with your team. We'd look at you and your team, understanding the team's makeup, the strengths, potential blind spots, gaps, trouble areas, and then we'd combine you, your team, and your work to see if your team is made up in such a way that it aligns with the work to be done or whether there are gaps that need to be filled. Finally, we would develop a plan, a clear path forward to begin building dream teams that deliver results for your business. So now if you decided to work with us, we'd schedule a 90-minute virtual meeting or in person if you prefer. That would cover basically just what we walked through at a higher level. Shortly after our session, I'd send you a report kit with your data and a presentation deck reviewing our session. You'd have 6 minutes of homework prior to our one-on-one session. And generally, the cost for a one-on-one session is about $1,000, but that is open to some negotiation if necessary. So in a nutshell, that is talent optimization and how you can build your dream team. And this talent optimization platform, which PI has spent a lot of time developing, is shown to be very effective. Now, the add-on piece to that, if it served your organization, would be the development side of it and how you build a plan and a process within your organization to develop each and every person in your organization. Daily, there should be some sort of development action that you're taking with each individual. That is a more time-consuming process, generally 6 months or more, but it's shown to be very effective in our approach and how we deal with a good, deliberately developmental organization. In addition, when you spend time committed to developing everybody in your organization every day, not just your top performers, what you find is a much more diverse workplace. And we're talking not just diversity on surface levels, but diversity of ideas. And it becomes a psychologically safe workspace where people are free to share their ideas, their goals, their successes, and their failures. And sharing the failures is important. And it becomes a very productive workplace. So that is the presentation. That is talent optimization in a nutshell. I'll be doing another live session a little later on where we will discuss development, the levels of adult development, because not all adults develop at the same level or at the same rate. So look for that in an hour or so. Beyond that, I do not see any questions, so we'll go ahead and move on. If you do have questions, go ahead and throw them in the comments, shoot me an email, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Thank you very much, and have a fantastic day.